For us last week, was thrilled with the defensive stand on the last possession to beat Georgia, and then just loved our guys' response coming off that win. I thought we had two really good days of preparation and then put together a complete performance Saturday in Nashville. I love the unselfishness that we played with. I had five guys in double figures, Hunter Dean right behind them with 8 and 5 in the game. And I thought Trey Hannibal, I don't remember the last time someone scored a single point in a game yet had such an impact on winning. So I thought the great defensive effort and certainly something for us to build on as we enter the final week of the regular season. Great challenge at Arkansas on Wednesday. I thought they were awesome on Saturday at Rupp Arena. Scored over 100 points. Battle has been phenomenal. Mark, an elite guard. Mitchell at the 5, averaging 14 and 7 over their last 5 games. So it'll be a great test for us on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Coach, big picture, we're talking to a lot of the seniors today. Still a couple games left in the regular season, but just what has this senior class kind of meant to you and just how they've helped accelerate the rebuild process?
Yeah, I'm not trying to pass the question on. I really hadn't put a lot of thought into it. Just been locked in on this Arkansas game. But we'll definitely answer that in great detail on Thursday or Friday because it's obviously a talented group of players who have made a tremendous impact on this program.
Hey, Coach, you've been with Trey Hannibal for 3 years now, from Murray State now to here. What did you see in him, I guess, when you first brought him to Murray State? What traits stood out? And I guess, how have you seen him grow the most as a player just since you've been coaching him?
Sure. When we recruited Trey at Murray State when he was leaving South Carolina, we were looking to add toughness to our team, and he certainly fit that bill. His physicality and explosiveness on both ends of the floor, his ability to impact winning, and then great credit to him. He's really grown and developed as a point guard this year. His decision-making, his ability to get everyone involved in the offense has really been done at an elite level over the last 2 months. And I've been really proud of him for that. I think he's a guy with his ability to pressure the basketball defensively, has a huge impact there. And for us, where we've struggled some on the defensive glass, he's a big-time rebounder at the guard position.
Coach, Tyrell took more shots this past game than I think he has all season. Was that something you wanted him to do in this game and do more going forward?
Well, Tyrell's one of the best three-point shooters in the league by the numbers in the country. So I thought the guys really moved the ball well. We were able to get a lot of high-quality looks. We shot it exceptionally well in the first half, not as well in the second. But I thought guys just played the right way, and Tyrell took a lot of high-quality shots, and we want to get him as many of those type looks as we can.
Just wondering some injury updates on Cook, Collins, and Stewart. Any of those guys going to be available
Sure.
this game?
Yeah, I'll go through all of, the 4 that we have sitting out right now. Corey Chest is just having a great year. He's added 15 pounds, all muscle. I think has really taken advantage of this year to keep developing his skill set and learn the system. I've been really proud of him there. Damian Collins, rehab is on schedule, coming off the dislocated shoulder. He meets the threshold and all the criteria to take a medical red shirt this year, and that will be our intention with Damian, and I think that'll be really good for him. Hopefully get full clearance this spring to return to live play. Carlos Stewart is still sitting out with knee soreness. I don't anticipate his return this season. And then as you saw on Saturday, Jalen Cook was not with the team at Vanderbilt. He's currently suspended from the team for a failure to meet the standards that I have in place for the program.
And then just with Hunter Dean, he made some really timely plays for you guys in the second half in particular. I mean, did you expect that kind of thing from him coming into the year? Because it really seems like he's kind of been a nice bright spot for you guys off the bench in some of those big man minutes.
Yeah, Glenn, he's been awesome. There's some things, probably some misconceptions with Hunter. Number one, he tested out as the second best athlete in our program. Plays way above the rim, runs the floor, really good in his lateral movement defensively. Then, don't like to throw around the term loosely, but he really is a genius on the floor. Like, he has unbelievable basketball IQ and ability to process what's going on offensively, defensively. He fixes a lot of our mistakes. And you see with his field goal percentage, just an elite finisher at the rim. And I think he's putting in a lot of work. Got off to a slow start at the free throw line and has really made a lot of progress there. So a lot of fun to coach.
Midway through the year, we were talking about the fight and the pride that you have in continuing, but those were coming in losses. Now that you're getting those victories, I guess, do you still see that sense of pride amongst the team for kind of slugging through the season and reaping its benefits now?
Well, I think that's why we've gotten better as the season's gone along. I think guys have made a commitment to the toughness that winning requires. I think we've come together as a team. Our chemistry right now is as good as it's been all season, by far. I think when you hit some adversity as we did, some tough losses at the buzzer in league play, the character of your people will shine through. And I think our players showed what they're about, just kept coming back to practice to work, film study to learn, really committed to getting better and have responded every time. And started to figure out ways to win those one-possession games. I think it was 3 straight wins by 1 point, and found ways to win. Sometimes it was a great offensive play, or, as was the case Tuesday against Georgia, the great defensive stand. So my goal for our team is to stay committed to that process, just to keep getting better. There's still a lot of basketball to be played this year. This is a big week for us, and I expect our guys to come out ready to practice today and make some improvement in our team.
Coach, I read in one of the LSU magazines coming into the season that when you learned about the SEC preseason poll, you kind of smirked like you knew something that we all didn't, that whoever makes that poll didn't. Do you think that we're starting to see that, the team that we couldn't see but you knew was always there?
I don't know. I don't ever look at those things. We got a lot. We knew coming into the season, we kind of looked at this as year one of our program. Just kind of had to throw together a roster last year and then survive it. This was the first time we were able to put together a recruiting class. Thought we were able to go out in the transfer portal and add some experience. But there's a lot of unknowns. Are you going to be able to build that group of talented players into a team? Been a lot of ups and downs, but I think we've made great progress there. We're right here in the battle, trying to get into the top half of the SEC standings as we enter the last week of the season, trying to build some momentum going into the SEC tournament. And I think our players deserve a lot of credit for the hard work they've put in and the resiliency that they've shown to keep getting better as a team.
Your approach has always been about the day or the game in front of you, but you've also said that you do talk, postseason picture with the team. So is this a tricky week? Because, like you said, it's a big week. You got a chance to make some moves. Is it tricky for the coach to stay, to get that message across?
I don't think it is. Every Monday we kind of just give the state of the union where we're at and what we need to get done. And as I always tell you, it takes about 2 minutes, and then we're on to Arkansas. And that's where our focus needs to remain. We've got a group of players that are playing really well together on both sides of the ball. We know it's going to be an incredible test on Wednesday. when you watch that Arkansas-Kentucky game, that Arkansas looks like a team that will win games in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it was an unbelievable performance on their part. So I think our players understand what defensive effort will be required this week, and what we'll have to do from an execution standpoint to find a way to win on Wednesday. And I think our players have done a good job of keeping the focus where it needs to be, and I expect they'll do the same this week.
I mean, you've seen a lot of the year 1 to year 2 development with guys like Tyrell and Jalen. I was just curious. I mean, I know you have a lot of focus on the next 2 games and certainly with what's coming up. But when do you start having conversations with guys about coming back for another year or just that kind of thing? I mean, what kind of conversations do you have? Is that something that starts kind of putting feelers out now, or just how does that go?
That's a good question, Glenn. I think that's something that all takes place after the season. Really pleased with the growth and development of both Jalen Reed and Tyrell and here in their second season with the program. I think Mike Williams has done great things as a freshman. So I know everyone gets caught up in the portal world, and it's changing in college sports, but I still love the old school player development model where you come in and you play early in your career, and then you take a big jump from your first to second year, and then you get to the junior, senior year, and if you put in the work and stay committed to that process, you put yourself in position to be an all-conference player and open up all those professional opportunities that players come to LSU to pursue. So I think those type conversations certainly take place after the season.
Coach, you talked so highly about Arkansas after that Kentucky game. Do you view them as a bit of a different team than the one that came here that you beat by 21 points back in February?
I think you have to when you look at what Battle's done over the last 3 games. I mean, he's taken 49 free throws just in the last 3 games. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. He's taken 65 free throws in their last 5 games, averaging 29 a game. I really haven't seen an offensive explosion like that since I coached Ja Morant and back when I was in the same league as Stephen Curry at Davidson. I mean, he's just been phenomenal. Mark has proven to be an elite guard last year at Houston and then again here at Arkansas. And I mentioned Mitchell's production. They're just scoring the ball at such a high level. Games have been high free throw games. They're averaging 30 free throw attempts a game. Their opponent's 35 in the last 5 games. So foul discipline will be important. But I agree with your assessment. I think you have to, that game seems like about 2 years ago anyway. So we'll focus on the current roster that they have.
I'm just curious about how intentional or even now after the fact rewarding is it for you to be able to build a roster where you have guys that are mature enough and smart enough to understand what they're taking on, but then also talented enough to execute and get it kind of turned around?
Talking about just kind of the big picture of the SEC season, or?
No, just sorry. Just the task that you were handed, right? And
sure.
To get the guys to buy in to do it, that were mature enough not to pout or get frustrated, but again, talented enough to be able to get out there and execute it. That seems like a very fine line that you were able to walk.
Yeah, I mean, I love our roster. I love the guys we were able to bring in this year and the 5 that we returned from last season. I've said it before. I think it speaks to who they are not only as players, but the challenge they're willing to take on to come in and be a part of a building process. So we still got a lot of work to do, but I am pleased with the progress that's been made, and all that credit goes to the players. When we lost some of those tough games in the league in January, I think lesser people would have folded, and I think just their ability to stay the course and keep coming back to get better each day. And it's rewarding to get to see them celebrate some of those moments. Like I say, there's a lot more work to be done, but the Kentucky game at home is something that our players will remember for the rest of their lives. And, at the end of the day, I still think there's great value in those type of moments that you can have playing college basketball.
Matt, I know you're worried about the players that are here, but it's late in the season. Is there any chance Cook comes back, or is he done?
We'll just evaluate it day to day moving forward.